Hi and welcome to One Week at a Time. My name's Brett Burden. Going to continue the conversation that we were having last week in regards to DiSC profiling and psychometric profiling, and we were talking a little bit about how it can benefit you. And quite simply, the old identity iceberg here. It's going to take us some time to be able to get all of this information and find out what lays under the waterline for many people. But by doing DiSC, we can get to understand this really, really quickly. So that's the benefit of being able to do it. So you can communicate to people much better. We can have you just think about this. Come to one of our DiSC workshops. By the time you leave, we can have you to the point where you can walk into any environment, say a party, for example, and take a quick scan around within a minute or two, really get to understand the different types of people are in that room and what their profiles are, and therefore some of the actions and decisions and some of the strengths and weaknesses of those people. How handy do you think that might come in, if you're involved in sales, for example, or recruitment, or as a business owner just in general? So it's a very handy tool to understand. So let's see how it works. Once again, not going to go into great detail because I can't, but often people, when they first do, they go, "Oh, you're putting people in boxes." Yeah, that's correct. That's exactly what we're doing. So let's explain what the DISC actually stands for. D is for dominant, I is for influencer, C is for compliance, S is for steady. And this is probably the most important thing that we need to understand. If we get to understand these things and how they work, that's how we're able to identify particular groups and different profiles of people. So our C and S's are quite reserved people, but our D's and I's are very outgoing. DC's task focused, and IS people focused. Now, there's a lot of really good information in regards to the strengths and weaknesses, because a dominant personality, for example, can have many strengths. They're a doer, they get things done, things don't tend to stop them, they just keep driving forward, they're a real driver. So there's all these great things that the D has, but he also has a whole bunch of weaknesses as well, which he might be a little bit too over the top, overpowering for people, might appear arrogant, but he doesn't even know he's doing that. It's just him, it's just who he is. So all of these, they have their strengths and weaknesses. The influencer here, great personality, fun, fun-loving, great stories, entertainer, but sometimes can be, once again, really over the top, too overpowering, because they're just, they take the limelight all of the time. And so strengths and weaknesses. C's, great accuracy. That's what they do so well, is they make sure that detail is spot on. They cross the T's and dot the I's, and they're fantastic when it comes to making sure things are done right. But sometimes, because everything has to be done right, sometimes they're really hard to get moving or to get things finished, because if it's not perfect, they can't move past that, you see. And the S's are really steady type of personality. They say around about 70% of Australians sit in this area here, or certainly have a fair amount of S in them. So that's probably one you want to get to know. But the S is very steady, very comfortable, relaxed, not over the top like our D's and I's, a little bit more slower paced, but sometimes they actually, they appear slow paced and hard to get them going. Or we feel people who are this outgoing type, so the people who sit on the top here, find the S's really slow paced and sometimes too hard to get going, or quite hard to get going. So it's just really interesting once you learn how all of these different people act and react in certain circumstances, that you can start to identify who they are, and therefore be able to talk and communicate at their level, and therefore be able to get your message across a lot easier. So I can't go into any more detail than that. I'd love to. This is really fascinating stuff. You should come along to one of our workshops. If you don't do that, you should at least get yourself a DiSC profile done. Just need to contact us and we can send you the link to get that done. And have a bit of a read about yourself. You'll find it very amusing, and you'll learn heaps about yourself. Once you've done that for yourself, then what I'd be suggesting you do is have a look at putting your team through this process as well, so they understand how they can influence other people to get what they need without directly asking them to get it done, just by being able to communicate at their level. So don't take this for granted. This is a massive tool, and it'll revolutionise your business, your communication within your business. I promise you that. Have a great week. Please do some work on it, and love to see you at one of our workshops at some point. Bye for now.